Mathematicians, this is Mrs. Kinnear. I am the STEM coach for the intermediate level, and I have an Esti mystery for you. Now, this is an idea borrowed from a mathematician named Stephen Wyborney, and here is your challenge. So I have a jar. Can you tell what's in there? These are Thin Mints. So I have a jar of Thin Mints, and I want you to look at it, and I want you to think about how many do you think there are in that jar? If you don't already have a piece of paper, you're going to want to pause the video, grab a scratch sheet of paper, and write down your estimate. How many Thin Mints do you think are in the jar? Okay, do you have your guess written down? Okay, now I'm going to give you a couple of clues, and when I give you a clue, I want you to think about your guess and think about the clue, and if you need to change your guess, then you can. The first clue is the number is more than 30. The number is more than 30. So if your guess is not more than 30, then you need to adjust your guess. Okay, that's the first clue. The number is more than 30. So I'm going to put that clue up here so that you can think about this clue and the next one. Clue number 2 is the number is not a multiple of 5. The number is not a multiple of 5. So think about what you know about numbers that are multiples of 5. What do they look like? Is your clue a multiple of 5? If it is, then you want to adjust your guess. Here's the jar again. The number is not a multiple of 5. Okay, so now we have 2 clues. We know the number is more than 30, and we know it is not a multiple of 5. Are you ready for another clue? Now the third clue says the number is a multiple of 8. The number is a multiple of 8. So here's your jar. Okay, now we know the number is more than 30. We know it is not a multiple of 5. And now we know the number is a multiple of 8. So look at your guess. Think about what you know about multiples of 8. Okay, so if you need to change your guess, go ahead and change your guess. So now we know the number is more than 30. It is not a multiple of 5. And we know it is a multiple of 8. Now I have one more clue for you. Now this clue, if you really think about it, is going to tell you exactly what the number is. So you're going to get a chance to see if your guess was right. Are you ready? Now this one's a little strange. It's a little different. This one says the number is double the minimum age that you need to drive a car. How old do you have to be able to drive a car? So the number is double the minimum age you need to drive a car. What number do you think that is? So now we have all of our clues. The number is more than 30. It is not a multiple of 5. The number is a multiple of 8. And it's actually double the minimum age that you need to drive a car. Did you guess it? Are you ready? Here it is, the big reveal. Here's our jar. Our number is 32. Did you guess it? If you did, good job. Now what I want you to do is think about, can you make up your own Esti mystery? Now you would need to get permission from your parents. Think about objects that you have that might fit into a container. It needs to be a clear container. It doesn't have to be glass, but it needs to be something you can see through. And think about objects that you have, maybe like Legos or marbles or jelly beans or marshmallows or things like that. And then count how many you put in the container. And once you have that number, see if you can think of a few clues that would help. And then once you have that, you can record a video like I did, and maybe you can share it with your classmates. Have fun!